Awesome. Let me make sure everyone is muted. Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Hey, all right, so I am Tavia, you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. This is like our newbie training. We do this every single Wednesday, but we have we have a few other teams on today. So welcome, welcome. We're literally just gonna cover one specific topic, but this topic is pretty powerful. And I don't know if anyone has ever heard of, I'm gonna share it with you. This book called The Miracle Morning. It's by Hal Elrod. Okay, I got it off Amazon. You can do it. I think it has it as an Audible too. And here's the thing. So first I want to know in the comments, who of you intentionally every single day get up and dedicate at least an hour of your time for yourself before you grab your phone and start messaging away and checking in with your team and doing all the things, and then it's just like chaos from there. So who on here, or who doesn't, specifically do that? Because what this morning, that's awesome. And what this Miracle Morning is really, is it's to really show you how powerful it can be to start your day off on the right foot. But I'm gonna tell you a little background of this because I feel like it sets the stage pretty well. I honestly do not. I know, you know, there's times when I do and I try so hard and then I get sidetracked, or I get up too late and my 5-year-old's already up and then it's shot, like it's done. Like I can't get anything done because he is right there. And what focused time for yourself is, it's distraction. You're not really focusing on everything you need to focus on whenever you've got all of those things kind of feeding and you know, asking for your attention as well. I do. I grab my phone. Sometimes I'll turn over and like before, it's like one eye open. You're like, oh, okay, I think that's so-and-so. All right. So here, okay, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. So let me tell you a background about this guy. So I started reading this book and I was like, all right, I'm going to see what this hype is about. And I start reading it. And you guys, this, first off, the way that this book starts is powerful. He is a top multi-level marketer with, it's this knife company, Cutco, which is crazy because that's like super back in the day, okay? That dates people, all right? So he was this high level person. He was top 50, just killing it, right? And all of a sudden he went to this banquet dinner and he was leaving the banquet dinner because he got some award. He's leaving, he's in the car with his girlfriend, and all of a sudden he sees headlights in front of him. He literally hits head on to this other vehicle, was a drunk driver at almost 75 miles an hour. Every single bone in his body was broken, okay? Literally, it's amazing how he survived. He did and was pronounced dead at the scene. When they got him to the hospital, they did do 2 rounds, I guess, of CPR, and he literally got a heartbeat, which was crazy, okay? They told him he would never walk again, so he was facing an insurmountable, just the odds against him were just so incredible, all right? So he talks about this, and he talks about how, you know, you guys ever had that time in your life where you feel like things are hitting you from every single direction and you're like, sweetness, how much more am I going to be able to take? Like, I'm barely floating, my head is barely above water, and I feel like I just oh, sorry guys, and I feel like I just is that better? I feel like I just can't even, like, I can't get above water. I'm barely holding on, okay? So he talks about his progression into recovery. And he talks about how, you know, this doesn't have to define me. Something bad happened. Yes, it happened. And you know what? I'm gonna try to fight this. I'm gonna try to do better. So you see his story. It's called Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So you see this progression happen, and he starts to get better, and he starts to go through physical therapy. It was some of the hardest months of his life, okay? And then all of a sudden, the market crashed. You guys remember the market crashed in 2008, 2009? Okay, it was really, really bad. The economy it plummeted. He lost everything, okay? Lost everything. He was in debt up to his ears, had to move in with his parents over the age of 30. Like, it was bad, okay? And so he's sitting in this moment, And I think many of us can relate to the moment of feeling like, well, I just don't know how to get out of this. I don't even know how I got here, let alone how to get out of it. I don't know how to keep going in my business. I don't even know how to keep going in life, in this job, in the relationship. There's many circumstances, right? And so he starts to kind of do some research, and he realizes that maybe there's truth to what one of his best friends said, just get up and go for a run. He's like, run? What am I going to run? Like, why would I run? He's like, no, really, get up and go for a run. Sometimes it's like the best thinking you can have. And so he kind of talks about the progression into Miracle Morning and what it was. And so this book is built on 3 different avenues, okay? So one, I'm going to read this real fast, and it says, you are just as worthy, deserving, and capable of creating and sustaining extraordinary health, wealth, happiness, love, and success in your life as any other person on earth. He talks about level 10, like we have multiple facets of our life, right? Relationships, happiness, wealth, health, all of it. Have you guys ever heard someone say, oh, I only want a level 3 health, but I want a level 7 like financial status, and I want a level 5 emotional? No, we all want level 10s, guys, right? But unconsciously from our past, we feel less deserving to get those level 10s, okay? This is unconscious. Sometimes we don't even know this is happening, okay? So he's saying that every single one of us is capable of having level 10s all across the board, okay? It is absolutely crucial, not only for the quality of your life, but for the impact you make on your family, friends, clients, coworkers, children, community, and anyone whose life you touch, that you start living in alignment with that truth, okay? And he says, in order for you to stop settling for less than you deserve in any area of your life, and to create the levels of personal, professional, and financial success you desire, you must first dedicate time each day to becoming the person you need to be, one who is qualified and capable of consistently attracting, creating, and sustaining the levels of success you want. Basically what he's saying is you can hope and wish every single day that you live level 10s all across the board. But what you have to remember is that just because you want it doesn't mean it automatically happens. We know that God blesses action. You got to put in the work. You have to be the person that you want. You have to be that person that is deserving of all those successes, right? And he says how you wake up each and every day in your morning routine or lack thereof dramatically affects your level of success in every single area of your life. Focused, productive, successful mornings generate focused, productive, successful days, which inevitably create a successful life. And in the same way that an unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre morning generates unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre days, and ultimately a mediocre quality of life. So what he's saying is you can either decide that you want more and do more, because when we want more, guys, we got to do more. It's just, that's how this works, right? So he goes on to talk about, well, what does he do? He created this called, it's Miracle Morning, and there's multiple different things that he does, okay? And I'm going to break these down. And obviously, so you don't necessarily have to write it down. But the areas of life that he thought, okay, I'm going to wake up first in the morning and I'm going to dedicate 60 minutes, guys. 60 minutes. Okay?
Hey, Tavia, will you mute everybody? It's super loud.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, why are you doing that, guys? I can't even hear that. Okay, is that better? Okay, there we go. Hey guys, when you hop on, just be sure to mute yourself. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of people. Whoops. Okay. All right. So here, 60 minutes, guys. Every single day, 60 minutes. Okay. And here's how we broke it down. Every 10 minutes, it's a different thing. Ready? First one, silence. You wake up and it's silence. What does this mean? It means sitting in silence, praying, meditating, and focus on breathing for 10 straight minutes. And I'll tell you what, I tried this the first day and I was like, what time is it? I seriously couldn't focus my brain and shut my brain off for 10 minutes. And that's so bad, but I had to do it. Okay. So, and it says, I felt my stress melt away. I felt a sense of calm come over my body and ease my mind. This was very different from the typical chaos of my hectic mornings. And he said, for the first time in a long time, I felt peaceful. Okay. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if any one of you sit in silence or just prayer for 10 straight minutes, just by yourself. And you literally focus on every single, like whether it's focusing on breathing, whether it's just closing your eyes and trying to clear your head, because yesterday is done. It is gone. It is over with. You've got to live in the present, and you've got to start, pushing towards the future. Okay. And so that's the first one, silence. The second one is reading. Okay. Having always made the excuse of why I couldn't find time to read, I was excited to make time this morning and start what I had always hoped could become a lifelong habit. So what he's saying is 10 straight minutes, you set a timer and you read. You read a book, okay? You pick up, you listen to a podcast if you want. Maybe you don't have a book on hand. You pick it up for 10 straight minutes and you exclusively focus on that, okay? And when I say focus, guys, I don't mean you have your phone out and you're messaging someone while you're listening to it. This is completely different, guys. This is dedicated time where your phone goes down and you literally take time for silence and time for reading, okay? The third one, affirmations. It's so crazy because think about it. A lot of us are already doing all of these things, but I'll tell you this, in the way that he's saying to do it, I don't think that I've ever truly consistently done it this way. By myself, alone, in my own thoughts, in my own head, in my own, sadness, whatever you're feeling, right? Do your affirmations. Say them out loud, write them down, repeat them back to yourself 10 straight minutes, okay? So that's number 3. Number 4, visualization, okay? So he said he grabbed his vision board. I don't know any of you who have one. If you have one, pull it out. When's the last time, honestly, guys, when is the last time you updated your vision board? Yeah. Put it in the comments if you've done it recently, because I'll tell you right now, I highly doubt a lot of us truly do this every single day. And he says, I grabbed the vision board off my wall. I created it after watching the movie The Secret. I rarely took time to look at it, let alone use it as a visualization tool it was intended to be. For 10 minutes, my focus shifted from image to image, pausing at each one to close my eyes and feel every fiber of my being, what it would be like to manifest each into my life. I felt inspired. You ever hear Pam Souter say, lick the leather? Guys, this is exactly what he's talking about. You need to know what it feels like, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Every single sense needs to be included in this moment so that you can truly understand what it feels like to have what you dream for. Because if you can't manifest it in your mind, if it can't come to light and feel as if it could be real, then you're never going to believe it's a possibility to get there. And that's the God honest truth, you guys. And I think we need to stop assuming that, just because your past was full of defeat and disappointments and letdowns doesn't mean your future has to be the same way. We have the ability to design a life of our own. It's just a matter of doing it, okay? So that's silence, reading, affirmations, visualization. The 5th one is journaling, right? Awesome. Listen, I'm going to be super honest, right? There was a time when I was journaling really, really good, and I was doing it every single day, and I was like, okay, I got this, And then when I fall off, I don't know about you guys, but I fall off. It goes weeks or months. And I'm like, oh, where's that journal? I don't even know. I don't even know where it is. So it's journaling. And he said next he opened one of the blank many journals he had purchased over the years, like all of the others. I had failed to write in for more than a few days, a week at the most. On this day, I wrote what I was grateful for in my life. Almost immediately, I felt my depression lifting like a heavy fog, which had been weighing me down. It wasn't gone, but it felt lighter. The simple act of writing down the things I was grateful for lifted my spirits. So I feel like, you guys, if you're not doing this and you're not intentional with what you're putting on paper, we need to be. And I think that just as much time and effort as we put into raising our children, working on our marriage, working on our business, you guys, one thing that we forget to do so intentionally is work on ourselves. And then we get in a position and we look back and we're like, wait a minute, what happened? I had 3 girls leave, or what happened? My volume dropped by 10,000, or what happened? My leaders aren't showing up, or, whatever, right? Things start to kind of break down and you're over here, I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know how this happened so fast. What did I not do? And so I think we really, truly need to take time to start doing these things. Cause I know for me, I don't do these. And the last one, which I know some of you may like and some of you may not, but it's exercise. He's like, finally, I got off the couch, remembering what I'd heard Tony Robbins say so many times, motion creates emotion, right? I dropped down and did push-ups until I couldn't do one more. Then I flipped over to my back and did as many sit-ups as my out-of-shape abs would allow. With 6 minutes left on the clock, I inserted one of my fiance's yoga videos into the DVD player and enjoyed completing the first 6 minutes of it. I felt energized. I'll be honest. I've been running, and I honestly don't really like running. I'm good at it, but I don't like it. But when I'm done, I actually feel amazing, okay? Now, the act of wanting to get ready and go do it, that's hard, right? That's what we battle in our minds. We're like, I would rather lay in bed for a little bit longer, right? Of course we would, you know? But at the end of the day, guys, we've got to get up and move our body. We do. We have to, 10 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 10 minutes, okay? And the fact that you're telling yourself that you're not able to do this or that you don't have time, you are simply trying to make yourself feel better by giving yourself an excuse that looks good, sounds good, so that you can believe that it's okay to skip over things, okay? It's not cool. And it's not acceptable, especially if you guys are wanting to not only advance in this business, but in just life, in all those facets, guys. All right, so here's where the reality check comes in, okay? And this is powerful, and I'm hoping that it will shake some of you guys like it did me, because when I was reading this, I was like, oh my God, I think he's talking directly to me. So what he says is that he's like, unfortunately, most people never come close to a level 10 life. Approximately 95% of our society settles for far less than they want in life, wishing they had more, living with regret, and never understanding that they could be, do, and have all they want. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to be one of those people. You guys ever have, and I'll be honest, because I think personally for me, I remember my family struggling. I remember my mom struggling. I remember my cousins and family members struggling. And I remember looking at that thinking, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through that, nor do I want my kids to go through that, right? So I know many of you guys have someone in your life or some experience in your life where you sat there or there was a moment where you thought, I don't want my life to go this way, you know? And so he goes on to talk about rising above mediocrity. And he says, you've got to get to the top 5%, okay? What is the top 5%, right? And he says, first off, it's acknowledging, first we must understand and acknowledge the reality that 95% of our society will never create and live the life that they really want. We must embrace the fact that if we don't commit to thinking and living differently than most people now, we are setting ourselves up to endure a life of mediocrity, struggle, failure, and regret, just like most people live. Yeah, that's not going to happen, right? So the thing of it is he talks about all the different resistances that we have as individuals, okay? And the first I want to read this. Your level 10 life, that kind of life doesn't just happen. It must be designed. If you want to live an extraordinary life as defined and designed by you, then you must identify the fundamental causes of mediocrity so you can prevent them from robbing you of the life you want. So let's talk about the rear view mirror syndrome, because I'm pretty sure every single one of you on here, and I want you guys to comment if this is you. Rear view mirror syndrome. I don't know if anyone has heard of that. When I read this, I was like, yeah, this is me. And it says, one of the most crippling causes of mediocrity is a condition called the rear view mirror syndrome. We mistakenly believe that who we were is who we are, thus limiting our true potential in the present based on the limitations of our past. That is so true. And it is an unconscious thing that we do and we don't even know we're doing it. The way that we were raised, what we were taught to do, taught to act, taught to whatever, that is limiting us unconsciously in our present. And so we need to identify that this is happening so that we can fix it to get to that level 10, okay? So he said, our subconscious minds are equipped with a self-limiting rearview mirror through which we continuously relive and recreate our past. We want to create a better life, but sometimes we don't know how to see it any other way than how it's always been. Has anyone ever felt that way? Like, you know, when you do your vision board, you're like, this is great, but my life is far from what I'm putting on paper here, right? And it is hard to imagine my life any different than I've always imagined it. Like, this is just my life, right? And he says, when presented with opportunities, we quickly check our rear view mirror to assess past capabilities. What does this mean? No, I've never done anything like that before. I've never achieved anything at that level. In fact, I failed every single time I've done it, so why would I do it again? this was glaringly obvious when I think about some of my newbies. Like when you talk yourself out of success right away. When you say, well, I've never done anything like this before, and I'm pretty sure my friends wouldn't buy, and I don't think I'm going to be successful. So you know what? I'm just not going to do it. You are literally assuming that your past is what you're going to relive in your present. And the only way that happens is if you allow it to happen. Okay. And he says, when presented with adversity, we go back to our trusty rearview mirror for guidance on how to respond. And we say this, yep, just my luck. This crap always happens to me. I'm just going to give up. That's what I've always done when things get too difficult. So why change now? Have you guys ever said that before? Like, when it rains, it pours. Why me? Oh my gosh, I am the one that picks the longest line at Walmart. Like, seriously, like it always happens to me, you know? And we get in this mode of thinking that because it's happened so often in our past, we are doomed to keep repeating it in our future, right? That's what we think. And so he says, don't place unnecessary limitations on what you want for your life. Think bigger than you've allowed yourself to think until this point. Get clear on what you truly want. Condition yourself to believe that it's possible by focusing on and affirming it every single day, and then consistently moving in the direction of your vision until it becomes your reality. There is nothing to fear because you cannot fail. Only learn, grow, and become better than you were the day before. And I think that that's so true. I think when we look at failure, we say that word, there's a negative connotation with the word fail, right? Oh my gosh, if I fail, if they say no, I failed. If I didn't promote this month, I failed, right? Guys, every single day, I truly believe we fail, whether it's in life or whether it's in this business. But it's how you look at it and how you embrace that. Failure is just simply realizing that the way you just did this is probably not the best way. So let's back up, let's create another option, and let's keep going. It's failing forward. It is figuring out how to keep going despite your setbacks, right? That's success, guys. Success is not enrolling 10,000 customers. I want to make that very clear. Success is not just promoting to Presidential Diamond. Success is not going Ambassador or Black Diamond. Success is putting one foot in front of the other every single day, whether it's little to no gain, small successes, building to make big ones, and it is continuing on despite your failures every single day. That's success, guys. So I think we need to reinvent what the word failure is and stop giving it such a negative rap, because every single one of us fail. And I think we need to start learning that there's value in that. Okay, so that's the first one. He said the second one is lack of purpose, right? And I don't know if any of this is you guys. So it says, if you ask the average person what their life purpose is, you will get a funny look or a response like, I don't know. What if I asked you? Like, what if I just asked you guys right now? And what if I said, you know, what would you guys say? What is your life purpose right now? Literally, anyone on here can comment. What is your life purpose? What value do you bring to this earth? What is your life purpose? Do you have a specific answer for that question? I know I didn't. When I read this, I was like, I don't know, like to just be like really good and just like try to be, right? I mean, we don't know. It's a weird question, right? So he says, you know, the average person can't articulate their life purpose, the compelling why that drives them to wake up every day and do whatever it takes to fulfill their mission in life. So he says, rather, the average person takes life one day at a time and has no higher purpose beyond merely surviving. Most people just focus on getting through the day, taking the path of least resistance, and pursuing short-term, short-lived pleasures along the way while avoiding any pain or discomfort that might cause them to grow. This is big, and I'm gonna tell you why. Think about it like this. You guys ever see those people that they look forward to the weekend? Those of you on here, some of you still may work a 9-to-5 job and you're like, thank Jesus it's Friday, right? You live for the weekends. You live for those vacations you can take once a year with your family. You live the short-lived pleasures because you're merely surviving. Because thinking 10 years down the road, based on that vision board, although you created it and you're trying to believe it, you realize that it's so far from your reality right now. You're just trying to get through day to day. And especially with everything happening right now, it's even harder to see that. And so it's definitely taking the road, like you said, taking the road of least resistance and pursuing short-term and short-lived pleasures. And it's avoiding pain and discomfort, because when we grow, it's uncomfortable. When we change, it's uncomfortable. And not a lot of people are willing to go through change and growth to get to the other side to see what is possible, right? So living every day in alignment with 2 life purposes, he says, constantly, consciously aligning my thoughts, words, and action with each purpose. Not only did I have he said, so he talks about living in alignment every single day with what you say you want, you have to start acting in the same way. So your words have to match and mirror the action, right? You can't just say, oh, I'm an ambassador diamond, I'm an ambassador diamond, and then my work ethic doesn't match that, right? We know that that's not possible, okay? And he says, hold on here, keep in mind that you're not supposed to figure out what your purpose is. You get to make it up, create it, decide what you want it to be. And I think that's something too that not a lot of us realize. Like, guys, yes, God is always 3 steps ahead of us and he knows exactly what we're going to do. And sometimes when things happen in our life, it's a surprise to us because we didn't know it was coming. We're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. This is a great, I forget who it was. It was on Elevation Church. It was a speech called, I Didn't See This Coming. And it's so true because he's like, we get so caught up in what we don't see coming. And we think God is throwing us a curveball when really he's like, no, that's like what's supposed to happen. It's surprising to you, but it's not surprising to me. So you need to figure out why I'm putting you through this so that we can move past this obstacle and get on and continue on the journey. Okay. So I think we need to stop trying to figure out what purpose we serve in life and start designing the life that we want. Those are 2 totally different things, okay? You literally can design your life. So how do you want to design it? And then he said isolating incidents. You guys, this was big. Here, what is an isolating incident? I didn't know what this was. And he says, one of the most prevalent yet not so obvious causes of mediocrity is isolating incidents. We do this when we mistakenly assume that each choice we make and each individual action we take is only affecting that particular moment and circumstance. I'm gonna give you an example. Yeah, Tavia, I wanted to get my daily task list done today, but you know what? I had a lot going on and I just couldn't get it done. So you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. I'll start tomorrow and I'll just do double tomorrow. Like it's okay. Everything's good, right? Tomorrow comes. You know what? I meant to do that, but I got some of them done, but I didn't get all of them done. This is what happens. We think that by not doing something one day is an isolated incident in that moment. But what we don't understand is that unconsciously our mind is now conditioned to think that it is okay not to show up consistently every single day. So what happens is I'm not showing up one day leads to I'm not showing up 2 days, leads to 5 days from now and I haven't even posted but 2 times, leads to 2 weeks from now and I haven't even gotten on a Zoom. Does this make sense? So we think it's an isolated incident when really, guys, this is building and building and building and we don't even know it. And then all of a sudden, we didn't see that coming and it rocks our world, right? And we wonder, how did my check fall? How did I not get here? How did I not make diamond? Whatever, right? You ask those questions that you're thinking, well, I don't even know how I got here. I was doing all the things, right? When you know darn well, you really weren't doing all the things, right? You allowed yourself the ability to not show up thinking it was an isolated incident when in reality, it was compounded day after day after day. And then you're stuck trying to figure out how to get back. That's hard, right? When you fall down that rabbit hole and you're trying to get back up and you're like, I don't even know how to get out. Like, I'm just trying to get out. I'm trying to get back to normal. That's difficult, right? It's difficult whenever that happens. And he says, always remember that who you're becoming, guys, you have to listen to this because I had to read this like 6 times to get it. Always remember that who you're becoming is far more important than what you're doing. And yet it is what you're doing that is determining who you're becoming. I was like, what? Did you guys catch that? Okay, like I was like, okay, I need you to repeat that. So he's okay, I'm gonna repeat it. Always remember that who you're becoming is far more important than what you're doing. And yet it is what you're doing that is determining who you're becoming. So trust and believe, sister, if you're not doing what you need to do, then who you're becoming is not anywhere close that you need to be to live the level 10 life that you said you wanted to live, right? So again, it's an isolated incident in our head, but guys, it is compounded like you would never imagine. And that one really spoke to me because I was like, oh, that's so me and so many levels of my life, okay? Then he talks about lack of accountability. Guys, we can talk accountability all freaking day. I know I could. So here's the thing. Accountability has brought order to our lives and allowed us to progress, improve, and achieve results we wouldn't have otherwise. Here's the problem though, okay? Accountability was never something, it was never something that you or I asked for, right? When we were born, we get born into, you know, our family, and they give us boundaries and structure, and oh, you got to do the chores, you got to make your bed, you got to, you know, do all these things, right? And but for it says, so accountability was never something you or I asked for, but rather something that we endured as children, teens, young adults, and it was forced upon us, more than likely, by an adult. Most of us unconsciously grew to resist and resent accountability, okay? Altogether, we just were like, that's for the birds. Like, I can't wait till I go to college, because then it's all on me and I'm just gonna do whatever I wanna do, right? Then we turn 18, and we embrace every ounce of freedom that we get our hands on, continuing to avoid accountability like the plague, perpetuating a downward spiral into mediocrity, developing detrimental mindsets and habits such as laziness, deflecting responsibility, and taking shortcuts. Hardly a recipe for success, okay? So now we're in this mode of trying to feel fulfilled in our life. So he says, now that we're all grown up and striving to achieve worthy levels of success and fulfillment, we got to start taking responsibility and accountability for our own systems, okay? So, or you can move back in with your parents, I guess, if, you know, whatever. Your accountability system could be a professional coach, mentor, even a good friend or family member, but he's basically saying, find an accountability partner. But look, accountability partners are great, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if that accountability partner mirrors the same personality as you, and you know they're not gonna push you like you know you need pushed, you need to find a new one. And I say that with massive love, but it's the truth. I know that what personality color I am. So if I have, and if I'm teamed up with someone that's super shy and they're not necessarily confrontational, or they won't really message me or put it out there that I need to do this, hey, Tavia, you need to show up. I don't see you. Where you at, girl? Come on. I need to have that. So figure out what it is you need. And if you have an accountability partner, you best believe they need to be helping you in those areas of your life. And so typically what you find is that accountability partners are best when they're opposite personality colors. It's just how it works, okay? So if any of you have one or need one, I would totally think about this, but take it very serious, because this is definitely, and it has to go both ways. It has to be a mutually exclusive relationship. If they are not serving you as your accountability partner and you're not serving them, then it's deuces. You've got to find someone else, something else, because it's not serving anybody, okay? Okay, and then he says mediocre circle of influence. So have you guys ever found yourself being surrounded by people that just don't make you better, that talk about you, that laugh about you, that talk about your business, that will never be a customer? Oh my God, yeah, she's doing that crazy rap thing, and she's like totally crazy. I told her not to do it, and I know, you know, Chelsea's grandma's sister's cousin, yeah, she did it, and you know what, it just didn't work out for her, and I don't know why she's doing it. I keep telling her, you know, they talk about this, right? And it's like the topic of conversation every single time you come around, and you're like, sweet, I've been doing this for 5 years now, Sally. Why are you still talking about it, you know? And so here's the thing. It is often said that misery loves company. We know this, right? But so does mediocrity. And it says, don't let the fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs of others limit what's possible for you. Wow, yeah, okay. I know that we have grown up and we are so accustomed and used to what we are used to and the words that people spoke to us and about us, and we assume that it is truthful. But when we start to realize that there is more to life, and our words have power, and we can actually combat what we experienced maybe in our childhood, we start to realize that the people that surround you, if they're not making you better, you feel an urge inside of you to either break away or tell them how you truly feel. And if you feel that urge, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. And it is not disrespectful to respectfully exit that group. It is not. I don't care who you are, what purpose you serve in my life. More than likely, the purpose that you serve isn't to put food on my table or pay my bills. That's just the truth. And so therefore, if you're broke as a joke and you're trying to tell me how to become a millionaire, I'm going to say, you know what, respectfully, I'm not sure that I want to be taking advice from you, right? It's just the truth, right? And if people around you are more or less talking about you and not talking for you, they're not lifting you up, but they're tearing you down, guys, I don't care if it's family or not. Just like material things need to be purged, so do people. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? But it says, So yeah, don't let the fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs of others limit what's possible for you. One of the most important commitments you will ever make is to proactively and continuously improve your circle of influence. Always seek people who will add value to your life and bring out the best in you. And of course, be that person for others. I think that is so true. Sometimes we get so focused on taking, but you guys got to remember, it's a mutually exclusive relationship. What are you giving back? Okay. And then lack of personal development, you guys, let's be all the way honest. I think many of us realize, you guys, self-development, that's a word that is thrown around all the time, right? In this business, especially like self-development. Other people are like, what is it? I don't even know. Like, you want me to work on myself for what? I'm supposed to go to YouTube and watch someone talk about how I'm supposed to be happy and I'm super unhappy. You guys ever have had that feeling where you're like, this is great, I'm not getting the vibe like everyone else is? Or you guys ever been on a really good Zoom and people are like, oh my God, it's explosive. And you're just like, I don't know. It didn't speak to me, right? Okay, here's the thing. Lack of personal development. So it is off, oh wait, hold on. It says, our levels of success will rarely exceed our level of personal development. Ooh. Because success is something we attract by who we become. So here's the thing, okay? The thing of it is that your ability to move beyond your personal development is just not possible. If you are only in a mindset to be a ruby, then you will never exceed ruby. If you are in the mindset of a diamond, you will never exceed diamond. You guys, listen, here's the thing. You have got to continue progressing your mind beyond where you are present day. And it is painful. Growth is painful. It is allowing yourself to dig super deep to find out what are the limiting beliefs you are holding on yourself to allow you to break through the glass ceiling that you see. So often, you hear these people, guys, I'm even part of this. I remember sitting at Diamond for like way too freaking long. I remember sitting at Double for way too long. And I kept asking myself, well, it's deflection, right? I used to deflect. It's my team. They're not enrolling as me. It's my team. I don't know. Like, I'm doing all the things and I don't know why I'm not growing. What I realized was that my mindset was only where I was. I was not in any way, shape, or form ready to take on that next journey of my life because I cannot exceed where my mind will not allow me to go. And I had to figure out a way to push through that. I had to figure out a way to push the envelope. I had to figure out a way to dig really deep and find out, why am I so scared of becoming more than what I am today? Why is success scary? Guys, success is scary too. We sit here and say, oh, I want $5,000. I want $10,000. Y'all know what that brings? That's a lot. That's a lot of accountability. It's a lot of responsibility. And it is a level that sometimes we can't even imagine. Saying we want something and actually having the mindset ready for it are two totally different things. For example, I'm going to be all the way honest because this is probably everywhere right now. You guys may have heard people coming and leaving this business and you're thinking, isn't this chick an Ambassador Diamond making $30,000+ a month and she's just said peace? Who does that, right? Okay, here's the thing, okay? The thing of it is that sometimes people can't see beyond literally like their own two eyes. They can't see what the future holds for them. They can't see that there's more than just the monetary value. They got so complacent in their life, in their business, in their mindset that they feel what they have isn't valuable for them anymore. How is that possible for some of us where we're like, oh, you best believe it. I would be like, hey, yeah, what? But here's the thing though, that's their own journey. They can never develop beyond where they are. And yeah, they may have gotten to where they were and at one time maybe their self-development was a little bit different, but at the end of the day, guys, here's the thing. You have got to every single day challenge yourself to be better than you were the day before. You will never outgrow your mindset. Period. Done. I don't care what you have to say. That's the truth. You will never outgrow your mindset. So figure it out. Meet yourself where you are. What we tend to do is we want to meet ourselves 10 steps ahead because we hope we're there. Listen, sister, back up 10 steps, meet yourself where you are, as ugly, as unfortunate, as ticked, pissed, I don't care what you want to say, as angry as it makes you. I am so angry. I am sitting here as a double diamond, paid as a ruby, but guess what? That's where I am. And you best believe that I obviously have some work to do, so I'm going to meet myself here at this stage, and I'm going to figure out where that identity gap is. Because where I want to be and where I am, there's a gap. And how do you fill that gap? It is growth. It is hard growth that's going to take work every single day. Okay, it is. It's just period. There's no book I can give you to be like, oh, here, read this, and tomorrow you'll be back to double. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, I wish it did. All right, and then the last one says lack of urgency. Okay, so arguably the single most significant cause of mediocrity is unfulfilled potential, which prevents 95% of our society from creating and living the life they truly want. It is that most people have no sense of urgency to improve themselves so they can improve their lives. Here we go. Human nature is to live with a someday mindset and think life will work itself out. You have those people, oh, it is what it is. It just, it'll work itself out. If it's meant to be, it'll be, right? You guys have those people? Okay. Now, they're optimistic, yes, for sure, and I think that's great. But here's the thing. How's it working out for you? You can sit here and say all day, sweet girl, someday over the rainbow, you're going to be an ambassador diamond. But what else is there? What are you doing? Are you showing up? Are you doing all the things? Are you investing in yourself? Is your mindset ready for ambassador? Like all of these questions have to be answered, right? So there's an innate lack of urgency that we're not even identifying. Like, why are we not seeing this? Okay. So the someday mindset is perpetual, and it leads to a life of procrastination, unfilled potential, and regret. You wake up one day and wonder what the heck happened. How did your life end up like this? How did you end up like this? And one of the saddest things in life is to live with regret, knowing what you could have, be, and do so much more. So remember this truth, okay? Now matters more than any other time in your life, because it's what you're doing today that is determining who you're becoming, and who you're becoming will always determine the quality and the direction of your life. So we can sit and talk about, last week, last month, last year, right? You guys, listen, I think it's great to hear success stories from Ashley Sinclair and she talks about this in a podcast, guys. It's on Pam Souders. And I thought this was genius. She said, I talk about how I went ambassador diamond in 7 months, but that was 7 years ago. She's like, it's time for a new story. She's like, I can sit there and relive the past because the past felt good, but guess what? I'm still in the same spot. Why am I still in the same spot? Does this make sense? So I don't care what your life looked like yesterday, let alone 6 months ago, let alone a year ago. Maybe you were in a bad spot. Maybe something happened. Okay, it happened. Let it change you. Let it work in your soul and figure out how you're going to move forward, okay? Because every single day, it does you no good to live in the past. You've got to live in the present because that is where you are, okay? And so now matters more than any other time in your life because it's what you're doing today that is determining who you're becoming. And who you're becoming will always determine the quality and the direction of your life. And if you don't make the commitment today to start becoming the person you need to be to create the extraordinary life that we all want, what makes you think that tomorrow, next week, next month, next year is going to be any different? It's not, right? You guys ever talk to people that want to join your team and they're like, oh, I don't know, like maybe in 6 months, like I'll think about it whenever things settle down. Come 6 months, the girl is crazy. Life is still a hot mess express. Do you honestly think that all of a sudden, miraculously, your life is going to change without massive action? It doesn't. You're going to be in the same cyclical life that you have been every single year. And guys, we are no different. Unless you decide in this moment that you're worth more, and unless you decide in this moment that your words and what you want aren't aligning with your actions, you got to make a decision. And you got to make, and people say, how did you get to ambassador? Well, I made a decision. You guys ever hear them say that? I laugh because I'm like, I made a decision like last week. And sister, I'm not there. But here's the thing though. We can make decisions all the time to say, yes, I'm going all in. I am going presidential diamond, right? But my actions and my self-development have to match that. Because I can say all day long for a year that I want to go presidential diamond. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want to do it. I want to do it. Doesn't mean I will do it, okay? So start living in the present. Start meeting yourself where you are. Start finding those limiting beliefs that you tell yourself unconsciously and start pushing the envelope of who you are. Because you were made for more than where you are today. Your past is not behind you, guys, or the best moments in your life aren't behind you. They're ahead of you. A lot of times we tend to think that the best was behind us and that's the best it was ever going to be. And I hit diamond and I got this bonus and that's the best it was ever going to be. Guys, stop living in the past is behind you for a reason. Like you've got to look forward, okay? If that was the case, eyes would be in the back of our head and we could look both ways, okay? But that's not what it is. You've got to start figuring out a way to get laser focused on where you're trying to go, okay? That's just, no, it's a non-negotiable. And he talks about, can you guys hear me? Okay. He talks about the last part. He says, draw a line in the sand, okay? And he says, you've acknowledged and embraced that the reality that 95% of society is struggling. And that if we don't commit to thinking and living differently than most people, we will end up struggling like most people do. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. You've got to make a decision today. You are ready to make the necessary changes to guarantee that you will be able to create the life you really want. And so he's basically just saying, take action, take massive action and commit to doing this every single day. And if you commit to doing this miracle morning, whatever, morning mindset every single day, you will slowly start to see your whole mindset start shifting. Your whole thoughts, your affirmations, your belief factor, your outlook on life, your positivity. You guys ever wake up in a bad mood? How does the day go? Yeah, pretty crappy, right? Like if you wake up and you're like, oh, I should have just stayed in bed. Well, I'm pretty sure you're probably not going to have the best day. That's just how this works, right? That's how it works. And then we tell ourselves every single thing, every time something happens throughout that day, you're like, well, yeah, just add to it. Keep it coming. Like, just keep coming. That's just story of my life, But you've got to make a decision to wake up every single morning as positive as you can be. And I know sometimes that's hard, but fake it till you make it and then allow yourself to work on all 6 of these things and allow it to work for you. And over time, I promise you, you will start to believe the hype of you. And that's when you know you're winning. When you start to believe your own hype, that's when you know you've made it. But until then, keep hyping yourself up because that's the best and quickest way to get where we're trying to go. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Sorry it took a little bit longer. Is there any specific questions? So hopefully I think Shauna was putting in the different things. If not, I will comment them.
I don't know what I missed. Was there 4? It kicked me out at one point.
Yeah, I was looking at, let's see, there's 6. Or no, wait.
I think I got to, sorry. That's why I'm muted.
Fine. Okay.
I think I got to, 4 or 5.
Silence. Reading.
I think I got to affirmations and then the next one.
Yep. I see. Okay. Okay, so what did you guys think? Anyone have anything to add to this? Anyone have read this? Anyone's tried this? I'm always curious.
Girl, I bought this audiobook like a year ago and I never listened to it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to jump in it. I bought the second one for network marketing too. And I started with that one like 2 weeks ago and I thought, no.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I hear you. And one of the things I'm trying to do, guys, listen, people want to say too, I'm not a morning person. I'm not either. But here's the thing. If you want to grow and if you want to get to where you're trying to go, it doesn't matter if you're a morning person or not. You got to do the work. And the work is not always fun. Okay. Because look, you can either put in the work now and live your life like everyone else dreams of, or you can go ahead and keep doing what you're doing and then work later. That's not any fun while everyone's retired and then you're still working. Right. So you just got to put in the work, period. You just got to put in the work. So I've been getting up early, trying to before Tristan. And because I know once he's up, it's a wrap. It's like a wrap. I don't know my life at that point. So
I want to say something really quick, you guys.
Yes.
It's funny, Tavia, because me and you were talking about the Miracle Morning, I don't know, quite a few months ago. And Tavia's like, yeah, we are actually doing Zooms in the morning at 5 or 6 o'clock. And I was like, what did I say, Tavia? I was like,
you're like, oh yeah, girl, we can do that early, but okay.
I was like, sorry, girl, that's not happening for me. So anyways, I'm excited to implement some of these things. I want to talk about journaling for a minute because I think it was 2 years ago, I actually went to Green Carpet and I got invited to dinner. It was me and Christy DeJesus and Pam Souter. And literally the entire dinner was affirmations and journaling. And you guys, can I tell you something? They talked about journaling, I swear, for a solid hour. And I sat there the entire time like this.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I am not a 16-year-old girl. You guys know how it is. When you're journaling, you're like, okay, do I journal about? Like my
Right.
crush, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I did back in the day. I journaled about the boys that I liked, you know, like that's what I did. How my best friend and I were arguing, you know. So in my mind, that's what I'm sitting there thinking. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. So anyways, after hearing them talk about this for hours and hours, you know, an hour or so, I get home and I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to try it, see how it works. And I'll be honest, you guys, as crazy as it may sound, it's not the norm. We get it's not the norm. We get that, you know, the lady that works with you, she's probably not waking up in the morning doing her personal development, journaling, probably not. But like Tavia said earlier, we have to do things different than others because so many other people are out there living that paycheck to paycheck life. You guys know, I think I've talked to 4 people today. Guess what? None of them had $99 to get started in the business because, guys, the struggle is real right now for so many people. So all I'm saying is, you guys, make sure that you're taking your time to do these. I'm really excited to implement these, especially exercise. I don't necessarily like work out, but I do walk anywhere from a mile to 2 miles about 5-6 days a week. That's kind of my workout, and occasionally I'll hit some weights. So I'm excited to do that in the morning. But make sure you guys are getting that journaling in. And it's going to be awkward at first. Am I right, Tavia?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's so awkward. You're like, what? My sister, it's funny because my sister's not in this business, and my sister wants to start journaling. She's a teacher. And she asked me the other day, she's like, can I read your journal? Like, I don't even know where to start. She said, can I read your journal? And it's my sister's. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So anyways, you guys, I'm really, I love this one here. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. It's called 100 Days to Dream Your Heart Out. A lot of my team has this. It's by Katie Foltz. If you don't have this, it's amazing. I'm on day 40 something, but what it has here is it has so you guys don't see everything I'm journaling about. It has like a devotional here. It has like 4 scriptures. It has a prayer, and then it has a place for you to journal here. So I love this because it gets, you know, I can do my prayer, I can do my journaling, I can do, you know, my devotional, and kind of, you know, take that time and get it all done. But guys, this is a really, really good one. So I just want to throw that out there.
I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. Oh, Sandra, so what I was saying about accountability partners, what I found is that sometimes I feel like it challenges us more when we have someone of an opposite personality color to pull that color out of us. A lot of times we like to do things where it doesn't push us out of our bubble too much, but that's exactly what accountability partner is kind of for. So if I was like a red, I maybe would want, like, my lowest colors, guys, I'm not gonna lie, my lowest one is yellow and blue. So I would maybe want a yellow and a blue. Now, could she learn a lot from me? And could I teach her a lot? Absolutely, but that's what it's for. Like, that's the whole point, right? But then she can teach me a lot of things that she's doing that I don't know how to do, because my 3rd and 4th color, guys, listen, it's an intentional action on my part. Like, I literally have to put on the yellow hat or the blue hat to really be intentional to communicate with people. But just because you're one personality color does not mean you can't resonate and communicate with any personality. And I think as leaders, we've got to learn to do that. So that's what I was saying about having the opposite color.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so I've been journaling for a long time, for a while. And some of you may know, I put my phone in airplane mode every single night. I don't look at it until I've done my story and my journals. Like, forever I've done that. And then recently, like this week, this week or maybe last week, already Wednesday, I implemented the Miracle Morning. So doing the silence, the prayers, affirmation, the vision, exercise, reading, and the scribble would be your journal. But I used to work out all the time. And then January, I stopped. Don't know why. I think we're just running for promotions. I was like, I don't got time to work out, because it would literally take like 2 hours out of my day. It was like 25 minutes away from my house. And so I have pretty much been sitting on my butt since January. So I was like, all right, I'm going to exercise. So I started doing my celery juice in the morning. First thing, my phone is still in airplane mode. And then I'd pop in a little personal development while I walk the dog around the block. And then I was like, the next day I started running, but just getting out and it just felt amazing. And now I run even if it's 20 minutes. Like this morning, I'm like, oh, I don't have time. But I was like, I'll just run for 15 minutes. And I just run the entire time. And just my whole, like, just get that high for that whole day. I'm like, this is what's been missing, because my body has not been working out. It helps your mind. It helps your body, your mood, like everything. You guys hear this all the time. But it just felt so good to get back. So even just getting your body moving just a little bit. And he also talked about, I don't know if you said this too, Tavia, but just even if you're just starting out and you're like, holy cow, I have no time for this, take like a minute of each or 5 minutes each. Just get used to it and being consistent. And once you got that pattern down, then start to expand it. And I'm one who's always like audible, only audible, because my butt reads pretty slow. But so I've been doing at least like 5 pages a day. And so that's been really good for my own, you know, my own brain itself, but that's been feeling really good. And then as far as the affirmations, before I go to bed, I've been realizing I do watch the news, right? I keep updated with the news. I'm trying to keep it away, but sometimes I'll turn it on and kind of watch it for just entertainment, right? And then the other night I caught myself watching it before I go to sleep, and I woke up the next day kind of in a poopy mood, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? And so then what I did is the next night I immediately turned it off because I'm reading this book here, Layered Leadership.
Oh, like that one.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
So I was
good.
reading this. It talks about what your environment is, what you're listening to, what you're putting in your mind, what you're allowing to. I'm like, that, you know, the news is very negative, as we all know. So I took that into account. I immediately turned off the TV the next night, and then I just started saying my affirmations to myself. As I fell asleep, I just started saying my affirmations. And then as soon as my eyes opened up the next morning, I started saying my affirmations again, just to get in that habit. And like my mood has changed totally. So I was like, oh, that's a good one. So I'm going to do my affirmations all the time, or what you're grateful for. So just a couple of those things that I've been implementing is, you know, along the way that I think that has been a big help. But yeah.
I love it. I love that. Yeah. And you know, it's funny because here's, you know, quick question. How many of you guys show love so much to your team? Oh my gosh, girl, you're amazing. Oh, you look good. But then you turn around and tell yourself, oh my God, I still look fat. Like, oh my God, why is it, you know, and you downplay yourself. But then when you flip like, almost like, you know, how you turn the camera to yourself and turn the camera outside, you guys can easily turn it on and off. How is it that we allow ourselves to shed light and love to everybody else, but to us, the person that all that light and love is pouring from, we allow vicious words to be told to ourselves? How does that mathematically work? It doesn't. See, that's the thing, right? And then eventually we feel so like, yeah, she's saying, you watch it drains you. It drains you without you even knowing it's draining you. People around you that don't add value drains you without you even knowing it's draining you. So if you're finding yourself so exhausted at the end of every day, and not just physically, but mentally, something's got to give. Something in your life is draining things more than what you're giving it. And I think we got to just start paying attention to what we tell ourselves. Like, you know, the world is a not so nice place sometimes, and some other people do a really good job of telling us about ourselves, right? The last person that needs to be doing like all that is you. Like, you guys got to be uplifting your own selves, because at the end of the day, guys, come on, like, you see yourself every single day. You've got to start believing the hype, you know, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and you're just going to keep giving, and then you're going to break down, and then it's going to be like all bad from there. All bad. Yes. Yay. I'm so happy, Tanis. Thank you. Let's see here. Any other questions, you guys, or any other comments that people want to say? Who's going to try this? Even if it's just like Gina said, even if it's just a little bit. Like, guys, you don't have to go 0 to 100 like overnight, okay? Show yourself some grace with this, you know, because this is new. Create a pattern, 21 days. Give yourself 21 dedicated days of doing this, and I promise you, you will see a difference. 21 days. Good. I'm so glad. I am so glad. You're so welcome, guys. Good. Okay.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Going back to not being a morning person, I've been saying that to Gina. I'm like, I do not do good in the morning. I don't know about this.
Yep.
But I have noticed, it's just been a few days, honestly. But in the last few days, I have been getting up probably an hour and a half earlier than I normally would. So I'm getting up, instead of getting up at 7:30 and rush. Oh God, I gotta film myself, make a celery, you know.
Yep.
I'm getting up an hour and a half earlier. I'm working. I'm doing my celery. I'm getting ready. It's not rushed.
Yeah.
And Gina sees it. I know she does because she's all over my posts. But I mean, I'm posting, like I'm actually getting a lot more of my KPIs done than I thought I even would. And so, yeah, I'm not getting it all done in that hour and a half because then I have to go to my full-time job. But then when I come home at night, like normally right now, I would be working. Right now, I'm doing my daughter's hair, but
Yeah.
I would be working again so that I can complete all my KPIs.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's where I'm struggling with the organization, Gina, still. But I'm getting there, and it's just like I see the like you guys say, the more you show up and the more that you just say to yourself, I have to do this if I want this.
Yep.
That's the only way it's gonna happen.
So true.
And it does feel good. I have to say, it does feel
That's so good. That's awesome. That's so good. I love it. Yeah, if you want more, you got to do more. It's very simple. It works. It's parallel. One of the things you were saying though, guys, like she's saying though, even if you get up earlier and you don't get all of it done, the mere fact that you're doing it and getting more of it done is better than anything. Because listen, there's a difference with being busy all day and being productive. I would rather be productive for an hour and a half or 2 hours out of my day than be busy 6 hours of the day. I'll fall down a rabbit hole real fast if I don't stay on task, and I'll all of a sudden end up on a Red Table Talk live. I'm like, how did I even, what? I was messaging people, how did I get here? But listen, seriously though, I think it's all about being productive. We find ourselves wanting to be so busy, and we feel like at the end of the day, oh my God, I didn't even post, but I was so busy. How was I busy all day and I didn't even post, So I think we got to flip the switch, you guys. The KPI, that's a whole nother topic, but that is a great, expansion from this miracle morning into, oh my gosh, that's like golden. Tell me about how your business would not just go through the roof. I am telling you guys, my mind is blown from that too. So yes. That's another topic. But hopefully this helped you guys. I know we ran a little bit over. I'm going to stop the recording and I will post this, you guys. I'll get it to the leader.